here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's a place I remember from high school, kind of half remember, mainly for its extreme wilderness and virgin pines, so maybe we'll find some of those. The pine trees, I remember taking 5 of us to wrap our hands around. It'd be cool to find some shots with all the leaves changing color. Plan is 5 days here camping, 5 nights, 6 days I think. First night here I showed up at 2:30 p.m. so I'm camping fairly near the park entrance. Then we'll move to a second spot tomorrow and finish up the last few days at a final location up near a bunch of lakes. But there's lakes everywhere up here. Weather's supposed to be cloudy and rainy the whole time, so maybe we'll get some atmosphere shots. But for now, we're just here to explore and see what's up here. Got camp set, my tent set up, food is hung up in a tree. Realized I left a power cable in the car. So, I guess, now I'm glad that I decided to camp fairly close to the parking lot for the first night. It's good that I ate all that junk food on the road trip up here. So, that's what camping is the first day, right? Well, with no obvious photos to take right now, losing light real fast and it's still very overcast. So I guess it's time to go back to the campsite and just build a fire, make some tea. Thunderstorms at 3 a.m. Now I'm up. Still pretty overcast and can hear thunder going. So, no real sunrise shot, but thought it best to pack up while I have a little break in the rain and head to the next campsite. Maybe we'll find something on the way. It's kind of misty on the lake. Maybe take a good shot there. In between the rain, I was able to set up the morning shot that I wanted. Obviously didn't get a sunrise shot, but it's still really good. Leading lines, kind of some atmosphere with it, on and off rain. You can see the log here that I'm using as a leading line going into the lake and then shooting off into the distance. It's kind of misty and foggy on the other side of the lake with some leaves changing color. With the wide angle lens, I don't think I'll get as much detail on the other side of the lake, so those trees aren't going to really pop out too much, but I really like the foreground here and thought it was a really unique log. It looks really neat. It's got almost a pathway of moss and grass to walk on. So, it's something. Definitely fits into the atmosphere around here today. Well, this is a nice little discovery. I'm quite a ways back in the wilderness now. And I found something that's definitely worth taking a picture. You can see, just been hiking in the woods, but there's this open little pond with a lot of moss, including, get up close, the light shining down perfectly on this moss-covered log here. This log is huge, by the way.
I don't want to walk across it because I want to leave it looking how it is, and I feel like that'd be a little too destructive. Hearing thunder, and it is dark in the forest. I don't know how much you could tell. I'm sure the camera is exposing for it to make it not look so dark, but it is 10:30 a.m. and it feels like the sun's about to go down. And with the thunder, makes me think maybe some more storms are coming in, so I might put priority on setting up camp over finding some more photo sites. If I find anything interesting, maybe I'll just have to backtrack and come back and hit it up later. But I really want to get camp set. I want to get a roaring fire going. Something to dry out. All the things that need to be dried out. I'm still fairly dry. No real concern yet. And it's not super cold out. I'm sure it's somewhere around 55 or 60 degrees. So, no real concerns. Other than just a little uncomfortable. But hey, no bugs. It's raining like crazy. Kind of fun. I mean, if I stay in the moment, what's actually happening right now is kind of enjoyable. Got my rain jacket on, I'm fairly dry, I'm still warm. But then you start thinking towards the future, I'm like, hope I could dry out eventually with a fire. I just don't know. Everything's pretty soaked. But for now, everything's good. Plus side, who else is out here? It's already a pretty remote area. Now it's storming. Gotta think I'm the only one on the property. Alright, this is really cool. I mean, not anything that's that I could take a picture of, but I found a natural culvert. Check this out. So down there, you could see the water flowing. See those bubbles going under? It's a path. The other side, it's this big round log. And it looked like a metal culvert. But no, check that out. Well, I found a northwoods scene that I'm looking for. A lot of color change on the lake. Very atmospheric sky. That'd be a beautiful shot at some point, but I am soaked through and cold, and it has not stopped raining. It looks like it stopped right now. I'm just getting dripped down by the trees. So if I could get my camp, I'm like a quarter mile away from it, and I could set up my tent. Hopefully I could get dry and warm, recover a little bit, because we're kind of teetering on a bad situation here. So I'm going to have to give up this shot for now, but it's good to know it's here. I might be able to come back and get it later when I'm a little more in the safe zone. It's days like this that sun worship makes a lot of sense. Oh, everything is wet. It's cold. It's like noon. And the sun is shining. Or at least trying to come out. That's good. Can kind of table thoughts of packing it in. Which I was considering if anything got worse. But with a little sun, if I get a little break to pitch tent, that should be good. May have to wait on using the fire pit. Got the tent set up, and I'm gonna change into some dry clothes eat some food and take the most deserved nap I've had in a long time. Hopefully the sun will stay out and I can make a fire later. Right now the fire pit is completely flooded. It gives some time for some things to dry out too. So, alright, nap time for me. Maybe we'll go out this evening and find some evening shots. Not a lot to report on day 2. Spent most of my day trying to dry out and get a fire going. I had almost given up, but I found some dry wood, digging out the guts of a dead tree. Got the clothes trying to dry now. I think the fire can keep going for a bit. I might even need to build it bigger, because it's starting to sprinkle again, just like a light mist right now. And just never end being wet. So, I'm going to keep building a fire. I don't know if I'm going to get any photography done tonight, really. When I'm wet and kind of cold, just trying to focus on that first. So, maybe photos later, but right now, probably not. In the morning, though, I'm set up for looking out east for the sunrise, so I should be able to get something nice in the lake that I'm camped next to. Unfortunately, it is quite overcast, so I'm not going to get any sort of interesting photo tonight. Overall, I created a big fire, was able to dry off everything. Did burn a hole in my pants. The pants I really love. I really love these hiking pants. I'm going to have to buy another set and get it melted aside. But it was worth it overall because everything was drenched and I need everything to get dry. I mean, I've had a pretty roaring, pretty big, intense fire going for a couple hours now and stuff still isn't quite dried out, so if I had never got that going, I would have been in a pretty tough spot. And hiking over to the new campsite, but I had to stop at the lake as the misty clouds are moving out. The sun's starting to peek out a little bit. Misty cloud as well as the color in the trees should be a good shot. New campsite is on an isthmus. That's pretty cool. Something I'm used to too. If those of you who don't know, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin the past decade, and Madison's located on an isthmus. Dry, I'm warm, don't have a headache. You know, it feels good to feel good. And the previous 2 nights, spent most of my time battling the weather. And a little time, and then moving every night. Left little time to really enjoy being out here. But I finally got my final camp set up. I'll be here for the next 3 nights. and everything's dry. Now I could just explore the area, hopefully find some really cool stuff. There are chipmunks everywhere. Chipmunks, red squirrels. Squirrels are barking at me constantly. I heard a loon, but I haven't seen any. Now that's the first giant pine that I was looking for, because I know they exist out here. Here, I'll try and I'll hug it. I'll hug the tree, and you guys can get an idea of how big this thing is. So I'm about 5'8". And it's giant white pine, which is what I kind of remember. I'm not good at forestry, but I remember it as being giant white pines up here, and you could tell it's a white pine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 needles in a bundle. 5 letters in the word white, W-H-I-T-E, 5 needles. And then the red pine, conveniently, has 3 needles for R-E-D. That's how you can tell the two apart. How is this tree still alive? Look, it looks almost gutted. When you look up top, plenty of bright green leaves. I think it's an elm tree. But look at that. The whole core just seems completely rotted away. Finished up scouting, and the temperature has dropped quite a bit. I'd say it's like dropped 10 degrees in the past hour and a half. Didn't have any necessary plans for tonight, like things I need to get done. Still got 2 whole days here after this, so I would like to get something for sunset if I can, but for now, I'm just gonna sit in here and read. We're heading towards golden hour and still overcast skies. There are worse things than killing time by the fire in the woods, so that's what I'll do. Squirrel. I woke up this morning and it was still pretty freezing cold, but despite looking outside the tent and seeing that it was definitely just gray and overcast, I figured I better go out anyway, just in case something happens. And the skies remained pretty thick, gray, muddy, nothing really interesting, but there is a lot of fog moving across the water. So I did set up, take a shot, trying to grab the fog in the water with the colorful trees as background. I mean, ideally, I'd like some better light, but given the conditions, this might be about the only shot I can really do right now. And it is quite lovely watching the fog roll through, but it is very cold. I would not be surprised if these gray skies started snowing. For now, I'm gonna pull an Aztec, which is I'm gonna go to my tent, I'm gonna eat some chocolate, and pray to the sun. So I didn't actually go into the tent and eat chocolate. What I did do is go out and explore this last branch of trail from my campsite. I've already kind of scouted out the other two. Found a couple spots, but this is the last little unexplored area for me. So I'm hoping to find another location or two up here just to give me some more options. I've got enough stuff right now. If I could get 2 more good sunrises and 2 more good sunsets, I think I have locations for all 4 of them. But, you know, scouting's fun anyway. It's kind of what I enjoy most about being out here. Just going out, packing light, and looking at everything. Now this is an interesting scene. Not sure if it's gonna work out just because it's so busy with all these sticks and stuff everywhere, but what caught my eye was this really rusty reddish water. Might have to clean it up a little bit in Photoshop. Light's not great, but this scene is just too good to pass up. I'm gonna get it now and possibly come back some other time if the light's even better and try to shoot it again, but check this out. Might be blowing out the highlights there in video, but it's a really cool scene with the ton of color in the background with all the deciduous trees. The front line being green pines, and then me kind of looking down a corridor of dead trees and water. I don't know, I really like it, so I'm gonna set up and try and get the shot. I got a little carried away with scouting. Ended up doing just over 4 miles, but is successful. Got some more forest scenes and some more possible locations with better light. Unfortunately, I think I used up basically all of the forest scenes around here. I've scouted everything fairly extensively at this point. I think I've got everything, so now this last day and a half, I'm just gonna be hoping for better skies and I could hit up some of the other spots that I kind of put on the back burner. But after 4 miles of hiking, I haven't eaten anything yet. What I need is fire, food, and some tea. The clouds have changed a little bit. Went from flat gray at least to a little bit of contrast.
And, well, I kind of got sick of just sitting around in camp anyway, so I think I'll take a couple shots here. What I'm thinking is, the first one, the camera's pointed right all the way down that corridor. There's some colorful trees with the front line of evergreens and a little bit of contrast in the sky. Probably turn that into a monochrome black and white picture, just because all I'm really working with is contrast there. The colors don't really add too much in this light. So I'm going to take that shot first. And then the second one I'm thinking is this first group of evergreen trees right here. It's all kind of analogous color. Dark greens, grays, silverish green, and the gray clouds. And I think it could be a pretty decent, intimate landscape shot with analogous color scheme of green and gray. It certainly is fitting to the atmosphere and the overall trip so far, so it might be the the poster shot of what I've experienced on this outing.
Well, the gray skies turned to rain again. So, been spending the past couple hours trying to get a fire going. I got a decent sized fire going, but it never really lit up big enough to dry and warm everything out. Slowly getting a little more wet, a little more cold, trying to attend to the fire. So, I just decided to pack it in, hang out in the tent. I'm still dry and warm overall. And I got another whole day tomorrow. I'm gonna set the alarm, get up before sunrise again, see if I can get a sunrise shot.
It is pre-sunrise. I'm up. I peeked outside. It is still gray clouds and rain. It has been raining for 15 hours straight now. And at this point, I am out of wicks for starting a fire. All the good tinder and wood around here is soaked. So with no possible fire, I'm just going to have to play it fairly safe and just stay dry. And so I guess I'm going to hang out in the tent longer. I'm getting pretty bored of it. Been in the tent a lot lately. So I'm just gonna wait out until hopefully the rain stops. I can at least go out and walk around for a bit. The rain has subsided to a light mist, so I'm onto the tent, just going for a walk. And I'm debating my plan of action for this last 20 hours. I think I'm just gonna go for some walks back to the places I enjoyed, because even in this weather I enjoy walking around and just looking at everything, enjoying the scenery. That's why I came up here. But I don't know if it's worth camping for another night if it's just gonna be rainy again, all for the chance at one possible sunrise shot. So I'm gonna walk around for a few hours, give it till the afternoon, and see if I can detect any change in the weather. In the meantime, I'm just gonna be enjoying the views. Like this one. The forest has made her decision. The die is cast. The verdict passed down. I am ejected. I don't know if she's shy and does not like me taking her picture, or the squirrels are complaining that I'm wandering beneath their trees. But all I see is rain in the future, and I can't imagine it being worth sticking around to possibly get a sunset and sunrise shot. All my things are wet. There's no way for me to light a fire at this point. And even if the weather were to break, it can't possibly break well enough that everything dries out and it gets warm. So my decision is made. I'm going to pack it up and head out early. But still, a success. I'm very happy with the pictures I did get. Certainly the most effort I've ever put in per picture. But I think you'll agree that some of them turned out quite nice.